Section 2.2, Logic. Logic. Logic involves a few things, but first we need to start with some definitions. A statement is a sentence that is either true or false. Is it raining outside? False. Is the sun shining? True. Those would be examples of statements. The negation then would be to take a statement with an opposite meaning and truth value. Is it raining outside? No. The negation of that, it's not raining outside. How about the statement, the sun is not out? The negation of that would be the sun is out. So we give it an opposite meaning. And lastly, the truth value is simply, is something true or false? A compound statement, like a compound sentence, is a statement that joins which joins two statements with the words and or. When we use the word and, we call it a conjunction. When we call it an or use the or, it is called a disjunction. The conjunction is a compound statement using the word and. Notice the symbol for an or. It looks, or excuse me, for the and, it looks like the letter A. A disjunction is a compound statement using the word or. Notice how it looks like a V. I try and remember that as being an or sticks into the water. That's why the V is pointing towards the ground. So we have conjunctions and disjunctions. Here we have a couple statements. We have a 90-degree angle is a right angle, a segment has two endpoints, and the sum of the measures of complementary angles is 180 degrees. You will only need these to write these down once, as we'll be using them for the next few slides. We want to write a compound statement using, yes, you're correct, using the and symbol, P and Q. To do that, we simply combine the two statements using the word and. A 90-degree angle is a right angle, and a segment has two endpoints. A 90-degree angle is a right angle, and a segment does have two endpoints. Both parts of this are true, therefore we will say that the compound statement is also true. When using the and, both parts must be true in order for us to say the statement is true. This one's a little bit different because now we're going to use that negation. We're going to negate the statement Q and use the conjunction, the and, to join it with the P statement. When done, it will look like a segment does not have two endpoints and a 90-degree angle is a right angle. A segment does not have two endpoints is false. A 90-degree angle is a right angle is true. So this time we have one false and one true. With the conjunction, we must have both parts true. So we will have to call this truth value for this statement false. Here's one for you to try. Press pause, try and write the statement, and also come up with its truth value. Here's what it should look like. The sum of the measures of complementary angles is 180, and a 90-degree angle is not a right angle. Once again, we had to do the negation. The sum of the measures of complementary angles is 180 is a false statement. Complementary angles add up to 90. A 90-degree angle is not a right angle is also a false statement. We were using the and in between them, so a false and a false would give you a truth value of false. Here we have Q or R. This is our first one of our examples in which we're using the or symbol instead of the and. It works exactly the same way. We combine the two statements, but this time instead of putting the and in between them, you put the or in between them. A segment has two endpoints. That is a true statement. Or the sum of the measures of complementary angles is 180. That is a false. Unlike the conjunction in which both parts need to be true, the disjunction, only one part needs to be true in order for the truth value to be true. We have a true or a false, therefore we will say that this is a true statement. You try it. Here we're joining the P statement along with the Q statement using the word or. Pause the recording, write it out, and see if you can come up with the truth value. Here's your statement. A 90-degree angle is a right angle, or a segment has two endpoints. Its truth value is true. Notice at the top here the statements have changed. Although it's a worthwhile example, if you don't feel the need to write down the long statements, just pay close attention to how this one works, and ask me any questions if you're not sure. The difference for this statement is now we have the parentheses. That is very new. We haven't had that in any of our statements before. The nice part about the parentheses is they work just like they do any other times in math. We're going to join those two statements together, then join them with the R statement. How this will look is a 90-degree angle is an obtuse angle. That's our P statement. That is being joined with the R statement, or excuse me, the Q statement, which says a segment has two endpoints. Notice the comma. That is placed there because of the parentheses. We are grouping the first two statements together, then we are combining it with the third statement with the or. We have the sum of the measures of complementary angles is 180. Let's work our way through this one. The P statement, a 90-degree angle is obtuse. That is a false statement. The Q statement, the sum of the measures of complementary angles is 180. That is also false. So this portion of it says false and false. With conjunctions, the and, we would need them both true. So for that reason, we say that that part is false. We're going to join that using the or along with the R statement. The R statement says the sum of the measures of complementary angles is 180. That is false. We have false or false. The answer is false. Truth tables. This will help quite a bit when you're trying to actually figure out what your truth tables are if you ever run into a stumbling. We have 4 different possibilities. We could have both statements true. We could have one true and one false. That order could be reversed and have one false, one true, or they could be both false. What this would look like is true and true would always be true. True and false always would have a truth value of false. False and true would always be false. and false, false would always be false. We can also make this for a disjunction. Again, our starting values will be exactly the same. Again, this is just a table to give you all the possible different scenarios that you could have. True or true would give me true. True or false would give me true. False or true would give me true. Remember, with the or statement, we only need one of the two parts to be true in order to say the statement is true. The last one is false or false. That would be false. There's one more example that you should watch. So look at the other example for this section before beginning the homework. Make sure to come to class and ask any questions if you have any.